It makes sense.
So, Brandon, there's a lot of times right before the podcast begins. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast. I'm Burnie.
I'm Brandon.
Hi, my name is Gray.
I'm Max.
You want to do it? You want to do it?
And I'm Brandon.
There you go, buddy. And right before the podcast, Gus has this habit of where he says, don't talk about anything, don't talk about anything. And I actually did that for one of the first times ever because Brandon walked in. One of the first things he said when I saw him today was, so I have this theory about the sun. I was just like, I don't know what this is going to be, but I don't want to talk about it right now. I want to hear the theory of the sun on the podcast. Max, Gray, any predictions of what his theory of the sun is?
Genius. Like,
is it based on anything? Was there something
Is this
that
going to be the
happened?
relative time dilation thing?
It was an epiphany, like a personal experience that I had.
Were you
and
in the
just,
heat?
Is
Were you
this
in
like
the
flat
light?
Earth or turtles all the way down or any of that?
No, it's genius.
Okay.
Like after this, people are going to be like, Brandon was absolutely right, and it's going to change the way that they look at the world.
Genius, by the way, arguable. That's, in the eye of the beholder. Before you say it, though, I want to say that today's podcast is brought to you by Day 5, Season 2. Day 5 is coming back for the second season. You can check it out. It'll be on Rooster Teeth first on August 6th. Be sure to check it out. It is amazing. All right, let's hear it. What's the theory of the sun?
Look, I was at the beach for like a week, which
There
was
is sun at the beach.
a bit much.
For a what?
A bit much.
What's a bit much?
To be at a beach for a week. I mean, you get bored. It's like, there's
It is, yeah.
sand, there's things touching me in the ocean.
I once spent 10 days in Vegas, and I never want to go back to Vegas. It was far too long to be in Las
I spent
Vegas.
8 days in Vegas. Yeah, it was
Too
awful.
long.
No, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, done. Out.
Yeah.
So it's unbelievably annoying because I burn very easily. So I have to lather up with sunblock. And it's disgusting and sticky, but I'm like, I just can't. I mean, this could be miserable. And then it's like, wait, after 10 minutes, you start, your body literally starts being damaged by this thing up in the sky. It's radiation. It's literally radiation that your body
radiation,
is almost allergic to, if you want to call that. It literally starts destroying you. And it's like, how is it any different than smoking? It's not. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is, and it makes you wonder if we would feel differently about smoking, we have a way to slow down the effects. I believe SPF, the way that it's measured is it tells you how much it slows the effect of the sun destroying you.
Knock me out here. So I'm taking SPF 15. Brandon, what does that mean?
I think it slows down the effects of the sun's damage by it's 1/15th.
So if I spend 15 minutes in the sun with SPF 15 on it, it's the same as spending 1 minute in the sun with nothing on.
Geez, now that you say that, it doesn't sound right.
It sounds.
I do know that after a certain SPF, it just doesn't matter.
No,
You go from
yeah.
96% effective to 97.
Once I take one step into the analyzation, then it doesn't make sense. But if I just
It's basically it helps not damage you. And then, do you know the most popular form of cancer? Not lung
Popular?
cancer.
Popular?
it's voted on.
I know which one I'd like to
hits.
get.
All right. But yeah, most
The one that
popular
people
with
love to
people's
dance
bodies. It kind of makes sense. What do you think? What's the most common?
Common, there we go. I would say skin cancer.
Skin cancer.
Yeah, it's melanoma.
The facts are on my side here. It doesn't make sense. We have an entire billions and billions of dollars.
Are you debating with the sun? What are you doing here?
It just doesn't make sense. People just,
I agree with
why?
that.
We need to understand that this thing is killing you. It hurts. Your body literally just is no, get away.
I'm still kind of locked onto the other most common forms of cancer would be breast cancer, prostate cancer, and now I'm how does the sun get involved? I've got some really strange images of people in sun affecting.
By the way, you were 100% correct on SPF.
Hey,
That's exactly what it means.
Inverse ratios.
Imagine that a 30 SPF sunscreen could provide 30 times the protection of no sunscreen. That means if you spend 10 minutes in the sun, 30 times longer before you start to burn, or in this case, 300 minutes. That's exactly what it means.
Well done, you.
So how do you feel about smoking?
Ashley has also said that SPF tops out, but that they don't tell you that. After 30, there's really nothing else besides just zinc oxide.
Technically, I think it's the issue of the amount that it helps you. It's literally 1% more as you go from maybe 30 to 80. I don't know. So it's not worth it.
I feel like everything should be a
you're
percentage.
just lathered in
that's all
cream.
anyone understands anymore are percentages. Like the Richter scale for earthquakes.
Oh, yeah, the orders of magnitude.
It's magnitudes, yeah. So
Also,
like,
isn't that the easiest statistic to manipulate as well?
What's
like percentages? That like, there's a lot of times where it's like, it's 30 times better than this, but is that? I'm really bad at statistics.
No.
But is it 30 times better than the original product, or is it 30% more? Or
Just buy it.
terrible at math.
There's
Not
numbers.
happening.
There's numbers and a percentage symbol.
if you go from like something that's 10 ounces and it goes to 12 ounces, that's a 20% increase. But you can work percentages backwards as well and make them seem like less, because 20% of 12, if it's that much, or if you're doing it for nutritional information, then it's less than 20% of 12.
Nutritional information's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, there's only this much sugar in this bottle of Gatorade. Oh, wait a minute, this is per serving, and this bottle is 4 servings.
I actually don't think that's the biggest conspiracy about nutritional information. What I find to be a huge conspiracy about that is, in the U.S., we obviously have a health nutritional crisis in this country.
What are you trying to say, Bernie?
Nothing. I'm holding the mirror up to myself, buddy. The metric system is not used in this country for anything except for nutritional information, but it's also only used for the nutritional part of food, not for the quantity of food. So you get a 12-ounce Coke and it's 35 grams of sugar, and the average American can't make that translation. But if I hand you a 12-ounce Coke and then you saw it was 4 ounces of sugar, or whatever that is. 3 ounces, I don't know.
Yeah,
3 ounces of sugar. You'd be like,
tablespoons.
Jesus. You're like, this thing is like, you could do the math and that's so much easier. I really think they put nutritional information in metric to intentionally confuse people.
Yeah,
they don't know.
It's like the cigarette company. Like, well, the cigarette companies before there was all the laws about the way that they portrayed information. You just use whatever statistics you can because you're obligated. Because I think it's probably a law that you have to put nutritional information on shit.
Yes.
Because we're all so fat. So they do whatever they can to just lie to you.
But like, who made the decision at some point that it's all metric? Is that standard? Is that the law? It has to appear in metric?
I think so. Yeah, it has to be
For the FDA?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, metric is still used as the standard in
FFA?
science.
Do you remember the FFA?
Yeah. Future Farmers of America. Yeah.
Like any scientific, any science in this country is still on the metric system, even though like everybody else is on that.
I don't think of science as being American.
I'm saying in this country, we still use the metric system in certain ways, just not, I guess.
I think the idea of like,
officially.
what are they working on in the American science community? It's like, what are American scientists working on
Well,
now?
it's always fascinating to see the headlines go by when, sure enough, one calculation that was done in the older English style system comes into play, and then they're building some amazingly expensive piece of equipment. And it's off by whatever because this half of the team was doing it in metric, the other half of the team was doing it in English.
Imperial.
That
Yeah.
happened in a plane in Canada.
It happened to a
had an
Mars
issue
lander,
with
didn't it?
How much fuel I think they put in the plane, or maybe it was air in the tire, and it was just a problem with conversion. What?
That's what it
The
is.
tires. What are you talking about?
They inflate the tires.
And you're
if you have if your tire is not inflated
You
enough,
said the plane took off on a flat tire?
It could.
First of all,
if it's too
not
loud,
entirely
wow.
sure
if
that
the
airplane tires have air.
They
first
do.
of all.
Well, they have. They
You know
have
about a
something.
jetliner?
Yeah.
They have what?
Like a 747, it could be low in tire pressure. Just one,
No,
and
I think it's
that
just
could
all
cause
tires.
the tire to
Tire-
catch on fire.
It's tire all the way down. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's
Tires
air.
all the-
No, I'm pretty sure there's a plane and the
it's
tire pressure was low, and
Joe.
this dude was like, "Man, I need air."
God
and he
damn
kept
it,
trying
Brandon.
to borrow air, and no one
I'm
would
on
give
the
him air.
I'm on the podcast with you. I'm gonna spend the entire time on Google. I know. Do airplane tires have air?
So anyway, there was a problem with the conversion of the metric and American system, or whatever imperial system, and the plane did not have enough of something, and it just boop.
I owe you an
Crash.
apology.
Huh?
I owe you an apology. Tires for airliners are inflated with nitrogen.
Oh.
Why?
Not
So they
as
wanna
dumb
ignite?
as everybody says.
Probably so they want to ignite.
lighter. Maybe it's
That's
lighter.
not
I
true.
don't know. Don't ask me anything
Why not
about
helium?
science. I'm really
Why not helium?
That's so bad.
Dude, it would
Bad.
that
I didn't know there'd be statistics and math and conversions.
I just want to know how Brandon thinks statistics are making the sun evil. I wanted to
That
kill
is
you.
the word.
That was your train of thought here.
Yeah.
It's
the sun thing.
It's a delicate balance we have with the sun. Yeah,
no, it's like the way that we look at people smoking in like the 1940s. How do you feel about smoking?
I think it's abhorrent. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2017.
And how do you feel about being in
Tobacco.
the sun?
What's that?
How do you feel about being in the sun?
Listen, we all know the sun is bad for you. We all know. Water's also bad for you. You're made of water.
well, I mean,
Wait, how does that make it bad for you?
If you
Water?
too much of it, you drown.
Yeah, there you go, brother.
Well, yeah, I guess you breathe it in. That's why I don't do water. Oh my God. So Bernie, I don't know if I've told you stories.
You really, honestly, it took you seconds to figure out how water can kill you.
No, it's not. I just didn't. I assumed you were saying something like you're in the water and the water is damaging your cells. Like this. All right.
So
Moment's
97%
fat.
water and one more pint, and then that's it. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but with the sun, I mean, but if you don't have enough sun, then it's vitamin D deficiency, or you get the seasonal
Is that
awareness,
rickets?
the sad. I get.
What's vitamin D deficiency? Rickets? Vitamin C is scurvy.
But yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that. No, vitamin. It's mood affective disorders.
Yeah.
Your thyroid
Seasonal
will go out of
depression?
whack. Your
Yeah.
pineal clock will get screwed. Yeah. I mean,
When I started working here, I started taking vitamin D supplements.
I have
Like, I'm not
too.
gonna
He turned
see the
gray.
sun.
He
Oh,
bit of
he
silver,
literally,
too, but
Brandon
yeah.
turned gray, the color gray.
Yeah.
Like while with the first 3 months he worked with us, it was really strange.
I also got really fat.
It happens. Production environments are listen.
they do it.
No, it's
There's
great.
fucking food everywhere, and
fun.
yeah.
We encourage everybody to go outside. There's like a sunset watching ritual that we still try to maintain from time to time, just to get everybody outdoors.
I missed that. So great for those people who, for some reason, wouldn't know what your position is in the company. What do you do for Rooster Teeth?
I deal with a lot of spreadsheets. No, it's I'm the head of the animation department these days.
So all the animators that make all these awesome shows, Gray's the head of that department. And what's one thing I miss about when you guys moved out of Stage 5 is watching you guys go out and watch the sunset. It was weird because it bothered me a little bit too, because I didn't like the fact that our people were working until sunset. Like I'm like, they're working late. But then I'm like, well, I'm here and I'm working late too. Clearly, if I'm out here watching the sunset with them.
Yeah,
And the sun goes down at like 2:00 in
the winter.
afternoon in the winter.
So, yeah.
Stupid. Anybody who tries to change daylight savings, I want to go to their house and be like, am I done for the day?
I constantly have a moral dilemma with like work-life balance stuff, because even when we do things like buy a washer and dryer, which we now use primarily for wardrobe as well, but there was a point in time like at the Ralph Ablanedo office when I did buy it because I thought, oh, people would be cool benefit. People can do their laundry and they can just do it there. And I was worried also that sent the wrong message of like, hey, we expect you to be here, all the time and live here and bring your dirty clothes and everything. And, I worry about that. At the same time, I also know there was points in time in my career when I was super passionate about something and I would burn the midnight oil or I'd pull an all-nighter or something, and I didn't have someone sitting there telling me, you can't do this. It's like, I'm working on this thing and I'm super happy about it.
Sounds like you're saying it was your fault Marshall moved into the office for like a month.
That was overblown, by the way. That was overblown. He like let his lease lapse and then decided to stay at the office.
And
I
then
love
you had a
Marshall.
challenge,
I love
right?
Marshall. There was a moment where I was like, hey man, can you like, he's like downstairs on the couch. I was like, hey, can you just work on this real quick and just knock this out? He's like, I'm off right now. And it's not like we have a clock. It's not The Simpsons.
I thought he turned it into a game. I thought his goal was he wanted to sleep on every single horizontal surface or in every single room before he left and started going to sleep in his new place.
It probably happened. He
a
did a thing where he wore the same shirt for a week and it was a dress shirt and he wanted to see if anybody noticed. And at some point that week I was like, man, Marshall, you're dressing really nice. Like, you look great.
Compliments.
Yeah.
Gavin does that, but like Gavin will shave half of his face when he has a full beard, like me or Gray's beard. He'll shave half his face, and he'll see how many people notice. And very few people notice when he does that. In fact, I've caught myself after talking to him for like 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, what's up with your beard? He's like, it took you 20 minutes to notice that my beard is half shaved.
That's because we're all trained to not make eye contact directly with Gavin because he's terrifying to all of us.
Well, the writer in the contract.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. It's just
Part of
like,
our employment agreement.
look over
That's
there.
funny.
Yeah, I
It's
love
that
it.
feeling of disappointment.
I can kind of get that though. I mean, like the way all of our desks are laid out, you're side by side up and down these rows, and you're hardly ever looking at people, straight on for the most part. Which also kind of set off another weird phenomenon. I would, for whatever reason, like Carrie must be to my right because that's where his desk always is. And if we had ever switched positions where suddenly he was on my left for some reason, that was just too weird. We both realized we were on the wrong side of each other and we had to like set our. It was a thing.
Well, Bernie, have you ever looked at the hotel that's almost done, that's on the place of our old office in downtown, and thought about
Yes.
like, where did I sit?
Oh, all the time. There's a lobby bar. We could go to our old office and just sit in the lobby bar of the hotel. It's on the second
Is
floor.
that the one
just
on
sit
the
there and work quietly.
right next to Rainy Street?
No,
not that one.
it's at 7th and Congress, right next to the Intercontinental, right by the Paramount.
Okay, yeah.
And the weird thing is we had this kind of like weird, lousy 2-story building, and then there was a parking lot next to it. And they took out the parking lot and just our building. Like all these buildings are in that row. They only took out the building that we were in to build this hotel. but they kept the front of the hotel still looks like the old building. Like they kept the 2-story structure and it comes out, and the hotel's built all the way back where the parking lot was. So it's weird. They tore it down, but then rebuilt it kind of looking almost the same way.
Yeah, it went through a weird process with the city because they had to check and see if it was a historical building. So they sent some surveyors in there and like drilled to see what was going on like inside. And they found out that like in the 70s, there was a complete remodel. But a part of the remodel is the designers made that building look really shitty to match everything else. So they did the entire work to like redesign and rebuild that building, like the outside, and they intentionally made it like really shitty looking.
By the way, there's been some discussion of putting together a reproduction of the city's historical markers that you put on the actual protected historical buildings around town, and put one up on that hotel, basically declaring this was the former location of Rooster Teeth. Just because, apparently,
Well, what about
RTX,
Pita Pit?
Say what?
The
the Pita Pit.
Pit.
Parentheses. Yeah, okay, fine. Rooster Teeth.
And the Pita Pit and Holy Cow Burgers. That was thereafter.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But there's apparently a bunch of community members that were trying to find it during RTX. They would like, oh, this is the spot.
Yeah, I kept trying to tell people to go down there, but it's like you're really like standing on a sidewalk looking at a hotel that occupied the space where we once were.
Yeah, so there was the burger place that was in the space of our old Pita Pit. This was after we moved out.
Pita Pit was the restaurant on the first floor of our building.
Correct.
We were only on the second floor. You can stand on the second floor, by the way, in the middle, and just like bounce, and like the whole floor would flex. I don't know how that floor didn't fall in at some point.
Oh yeah,
That was such an old shitty building.
Especially when you ate it on that snowboard.
All right, we don't have to bring up everything. It's like everybody's aware of what took place in that office.
Oh yeah, feel free to bring up every mistake I make.
Let's bring up your. Talk to me about the sun again.
It absolutely. All right.
You know my favorite thing about that. You know my favorite thing about that office was we did the remodel on it ourselves, and there's an RTA about Gus and that contractor who, after he remodeled our office, Gus hired him, and I was like, don't do it. And then Gus was in seriously 9 to 18 months of hell. He had the wall of his house was gone, like open to the air.
What?
For like 4 months. Yeah, it was terrible. Anyway, as testament to how kind of shady that build out was, we had a light switch in the shower. Like there was the lights, lights for the bathroom were, first of all, you'd open the door, they were behind the door, and you had to like reach around behind the door to turn on the lights, and that light was inside the shower.
Like under the faucet side or on the far side?
It was on the far wall, but you would watch it if you were ever taking a shower in there. Like we had something where you got covered in blood, and I'd take a shower, and it's like you would literally be watching the light switch to make sure you weren't splashing too much.
Saved a lot of water. People got it. Out.
And power.
So I found out that that building was going to get demolished, right? And a new hotel was going to go in on a website on the internet that has all that random shit. And I went to the Holy Cow burger place, and I was getting a burger, and I was like, oh, hey, man, that's crazy. Like, they're turning this place into a hotel. Like, do you know how long it's going to be open? And the workers in the burger place just kind of looked at me, and they were like, what?
Oh, dude,
no.
what's wrong? You're like the angel of death.
No, I mean, like, it's public information.
Yeah,
It's not my fault. They're the ones who were told about it.
But they didn't. Yeah,
I'm sure they spend their free time perusing the city planner's website like you are.
You should be mad at the owners, because the owners knew, and they should have told their employees. I was doing them a service. Now they could look for another job. I'm the hero.
No. You just come in and
then
like, you're the guy like yanking the rug out.
My job here is done.
You know,
Explaining them not to go outside in the sun because it's going to kill them.
I never knew who took over that building from us. It's like some photographic company.
Yeah, it was some kind of weird web company. I think it was the same thing as us. It was hard to explain exactly what they did.
The logo was like a spectrum something.
Yeah, I looked on the website and I was like, I don't get this. It was one of those things. Do you ever watch The Office?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I think that show. Yeah.
So you remember they got bought by some
tell
company.
me about this office.
Just
Okay, go ahead.
they got purchased by a company, and they saw one of those ridiculous orientation videos, and it was like Christian Slater talking about the company that they bought, Sabre or Sabri. I can't remember which one it was.
Slater?
Yeah, Christian Slater
You know
was
what James Spader?
No, Christian Slater
Okay.
was acting as himself in this video that the whole
Got you.
people, like all the people in the office, were watching, and it was one of those things where they just throw up like a bunch of adjectives about like a company, and you're like, what the fuck does this company do? Like, they're changing the world, and you're like, oh, they sell printers. It's like the same shit that like all of these tech companies do. And I think they make fun of Silicon Valley. Like, people think they're changing the world, and they're just this beacon of hope and freedom. And it's like, dude, you make straps that go in my underwear.
That's a good startup.
Max, I'm looking for a new strap company.
Yeah, that strap on my underwear has not been working.
I think it was in my head because of this.
What's the strap that goes in your underwear? What is that even?
I don't know. I tried to think of something.
Hang on.
It's a jock
maybe
strap.
more.
See, this is why he doesn't have a startup.
Maybe a drawstring that you find in
Can't get
some.
past the product development part.
I would still like to address this.
No, please do. So I'm in the bathroom right before the podcast is ready to roll. I ran to the bathroom because I'm a responsible host, and I ran in there. Brandon goes in there with me. He goes in the next stall, and all I hear is, "Oh, God damn it. This is the worst." And I'm like, what happened in there?
Here's the toilet paper.
And he comes out and Brandon has broken his belt. How'd you break your belt?
I don't know. Like I thought I didn't think I was doing anything differently. I don't know if I really had a pee and I like ripped it off. Like kind of like if it's, you're super mad and you just kind of Hulk Hogan your shirt.
No one does that.
For
You know what I do?
why
I
would
get
you
mad.
take
I
your belt
tighten
off
the
to
straps in my
pee?
underwear. That's what I do.
Yeah, just unpin one, unpin the other, and then we're good.
We're wearing garters now, Max? Is that what we're doing? Is that, okay.
Yeah.
Made in
Your
America.
underwear doesn't have that.
No wonder.
be in the RT store next week.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna.
You don't wear
With your
straps.
son thing and also making the world a better place and a product idea, what I've been wondering about is why parasols are not a fucking thing.
What are parasols? What do you mean?
An umbrella
Watch
that
for a
you
movie, man.
that you wear that you take outside to
It's a
not
nice
have
umbrella.
the sun on you.
It's a nice umbrella.
Man, I don't like holding things.
little lace.
Well, you can have the umbrella hat too, but it's not cool. And I've done it a couple of times this month. I went on the float trip a little while back, and I brought an umbrella because I was like, fuck y'all, I'm going to be in a tube, and I'm not going to get the sun on me. All of y'all are going to be baking. And I did it, and I was like, nobody else here has an umbrella.
We
I
had
look
this-
like an idiot.
We had the same thing. You can probably go watch the episodes online, but we had the same thing. We went to Bali in the Amazing Race, and there was a kite thing. They had to build a kite, and Ashley did it. And I was there. It was me and Tyler Oakley got there first, and we were not competing. Tyler's partner and Ashley, my partner, were the ones competing, and we had to sit there and watch. But they had one of these sample kites set up, and we were just like sitting on a beach in Bali, and I'm like, the sun's super bright. Hey, Tyler, let's just, you and I just like go sit under the kite together. And we went and got under the kite, massive kite, got underneath and just sat there in the shade. Everyone else who like walked up, they were like, hey, what are you guys doing? It's like, nothing, we're sitting here. It's like, why are you under the kite? It's like, we're just here because of the sun. They go, yeah, you look dumb. Basically, we look stupid under there.
Yeah.
And then we were putting on sunscreen, and nobody doing the challenge was putting on sunscreen. You can tell the difference. Like the next episode, every team is like, there's one pale person and one person who's like crimson. So Ashley got so, we kept telling them, put on sunscreen, and they wouldn't do it. And they just turned like that, that like red purple.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
this
yeah,
scary
yeah,
color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Jack Patillo burn. You remember that? At the first immersion we ever did, it was a time where the company was only like 7 people and everybody worked on everything. And he was there busting his ass. Like he's doing like an awesome job, but it was overcast. So nobody thought about putting on sunblock. And by the end of it, he was just like lobster red. And then I think he got robbed.
You know,
I can't remember.
And by the way,
That also
someone
but the real
happens.
tragedy
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
red on the day, they're in for a nightmare. You know, like by the end of the beach trip, like it's 5 p.m. and they're already looking sunburned, then at least for me, the next day I'm dead, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, it's because it's just not.
I know. Here we are back. Statistically, the sun is going to kill you. I got it.
It's poisonous.
Tubing trips though are badass.
It's like
That's
the opposite of
pretty
Superman.
unique Central Texas thing.
It
I should
is.
do one of those for the vlog.
Yeah, just don't do one with me because I might have embarrassed myself.
What'd you do?
Well,
Max.
Should we talk about this?
no, we can talk about it. It's not a proud moment, but when it happens. So, like, if nobody knows what a tube trip is, it's basically where we all get on a tube, and then we go down a lazy river. But it is like
An actual river.
an actual,
Yeah.
not like an actual river, yeah.
And inevitably, there's also a floating cooler of some sort of.
Yeah, everybody
beverage.
has like their own little cooler with like a group of like 3. It's like everybody has their own little cooler with it. It is absolutely the most like brilliant white trash thing I think I could recommend highly to anybody to do, because you're like on the river drinking and just people watching and just
The current just sort of takes you and.
and you're fine.
But it's like 3 hours.
Well, and especially if you stop at all the little islands that I forget what we called them.
Shotgun Island.
Shotgun Island.
I know
Yeah,
Shotgun
yeah. You stop at Shotgun Island
Where-
you drink another beer.
Shoot
but
someone with a shotgun.
yeah, shoot someone with a shotgun. It is very hot. And
Very hot.
and it is long, and you are drinking, and you might have...
Unpredictably long, too.
Yeah,
It could be
unpredictably
2.5
long,
hours. It could be 4 hours.
Yeah, well, and actually, there was a person who came with us who, like, was like, I'm done, I'm getting out here. And we're like, that's not how it works. If you leave here, you're in somebody's backyard in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
There is a bus at the end that takes us back, and nothing else. You do not get out.
Which, by the way, makes me wonder just what the hell it would be like to live on the river.
Probably
and just
terrible.
Watch all
People
the
do
people
it all
go
the time.
by every
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
But
Like they just wander around, knock on people's doors.
I was really trying to do good. I didn't think that I had that much. I avoided the hard liquor, but my beer choice was this beer that I love, Bell's Brewery, and it's like this. It's like basically like 7.8%. I had 5 of them.
It's a lot.
It was
like almost 40%.
And so then I went into my special zone whenever I'm aware that I'm about to throw up.
Oh,
Because that's like my superpower.
internalize?
No, I'm
yeah,
the same
you
way.
have the same way where it's just like, you just like, all of a sudden it's like the world goes away and it's like, I'm not going to do it.
how long does this last? This is like could be hours.
I have
right?
no idea. No, it's not like an hour. It's normally like a few minutes because it's like right when you know it's
Yeah.
about to happen. Then it's like,
You're like, I got 90 seconds. You're like, everybody, I need to go away.
like, breathe and
I'm
don't
just
talk
going
to
point
me.
out, as someone would be in the river with you, this is enough time for you to get to shore.
Or go underwater.
But you're catatonic.
Underwater.
You're catatonic
No.
at this point. At this
Throwing up
point,
in the
I
water
can't
is
move.
dangerous.
If I move, it's done. And basically, I tried to move.
Oh no! What did you throw up on yourself in a tube? Oh, that's awful.
It was so bad. It was horrifying. And then I basically had to like run away from the entire group and
Yes.
be like, shame, shame.
That's when you learn about
terrible.
currents in the river very quickly. Like you
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
aware
No,
of
it was
them
like,
until
get out!
there's something in the river you don't want near you.
So disgusting
Ugh.
and awful.
And those rivers are pretty shallow, too, so it's not like you can just, like,
We were
dip
in a
yourself.
deeper part, thank God, because I just like disappeared under the water and they were like, we thought
There
you
we
like
go.
went away.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So this picture right here, this is actually a really great example of it. This dude in the foreground, that is the traditional tube floating posture.
Yeah.
And there's also like what happens like halfway through is where you flip over and you're like belly down on it, basically.
Yeah.
You're just in like missionary position
Yeah.
with
Upward
the
facing dog or something.
Yeah. But that like it's also a raw rubber tube, like vulcanized rubber. It basically strips all the hair off of any part of the body that touches it, and you get a burn on top from the sun, Brandon, your enemy. And then the tube, you get like this chafe rubber burn because you're there for like 4 hours,
Yeah.
right? So it's really every time I'm done doing it, I'm like, why? Why did I do that? But then I always look forward to doing it the next time. It's definitely one of those activities.
And you'll always scrape your ass at some point.
Oh, yeah. There's always the rapids.
You will, I don't know about you guys, you will almost always
Rapids.
get in a fight.
These are the
Too.
rapids.
There will almost always be somebody who's just like mad and
Oh, yeah.
drunk on the river. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like you're gonna have that confrontation, and it sucks.
I had that with a girlfriend. I don't know if you remember.
Fought your
Wait, what?
No, I didn't fight her. No, I'm saying she got really mad at me. Let me make that clear.
So it was a Saturday again.
We did not. I'm just saying she got really mad, and it was only there was like 10 of us, all in like a small space, and we had like an hour and a half.
Get an argument.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We like fought in the verbal sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or no, she just got mad at me for no reason.
Really?
And it was
here
one of
we
those
go.
things where it was like, oh, she's like, this person's fun and like exciting, and then after a while, it was like, I can't. This is too intense. Do you remember we
That's
were
her
in Australia?
attitude towards you, or you towards her?
Her towards me.
Oh, she was done with you
Yeah, she's just mad. And then when I tried to break up with her, she wouldn't let me.
on the river.
No, but later on. But like, there was a time where like,
Hey,
she
could
got
you
us
move to
stopped
the
by the
other
police.
side of the group?
She got us like stopped by the police, and the next day I tried to break up, and she just wouldn't let me. Do you remember when we were in Australia, and that was one night we were out, I think with oh gosh, who was it? Aaron Morgan maybe, and I was just like texting nonstop, and I had to get on the phone because she got really, really mad at me, and it ended up costing me like $600 because she just got mad. And like at one point she told me, well, you're in another country. I want you to be able to have fun. If you meet someone and you want to like mess around, go ahead. And I was like, really? And she's like, no. And then got like mad again. And I was just like, I just can't. It's just hard.
It was a
It's
test.
just intense. It was just too intense.
So we talk about travel a lot on the podcast. We travel for this a lot. Travel is actually, that's where relationships fall apart. I don't know what it is. Travel is super stressful.
Yeah.
Even if you're not together on the trip, it's just like the distance makes it stressful. Travel's dangerous for relationships. It really is. It's
disruption of routine, just questions, your communication rhythm changes, and you don't know if you're supposed to be reading between the lines about that. Yeah.
Paranoia. It's just like natural.
Yeah, you go
We'll
like
destroy you.
You go you go for 48 hours without communication, stuff like that. It's just weird. And then it's a lot of travel, then just like this slow grind too of just like you don't see someone for a while or anything. It's basically you take a relationship you have with someone and then turn it into a long distance relationship, and it's just like that's a tough transition.
Yeah,
it is a stressful thing, man. It is a stressful thing. And you were gone for 2 weeks for that, right? For that Australia trip.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we came back, and it was just crazy. Like she almost got me arrested once.
There's also this opinion, honestly, that when you travel to a foreign country, as soon as you land in the foreign country, you start having sex with everyone that you run into. Everyone assumes that. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, and we're in Australia, and it's not like I was walking around and all the ladies were just like, "Hello, American." I mean,
Were you not
especially
working
at
the
time
accent?
where people were just like pretty annoyed, especially with Texans. So
because Bush?
Yeah. So we're not going around and like being very popular with anybody.
I will say this trend I've noticed: it is easier to travel internationally when someone like Obama is president versus when someone like I haven't traveled much with Trump, but I have traveled a little for Arctic City and stuff, and it's like it is what people want to talk to you about.
I was in a bar in Mexico the night of the election, and we were watching it on the TVs there. That was rough. Yeah.
Can you pass Mexican?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with other people who are of Mexican descent, can you?
Yeah, and they always talk to me in Spanish, and I'm just like, I just don't know. And it's tough because like my father-in-law, like he doesn't speak English, I don't speak Spanish, so our relationship is harder, especially since I don't know if I've talked much with you about him. He's very much like a man's man, and I'm not. Like the thing I always said was like I would be the perfect husband for his like third daughter.
Perfect husband for his third daughter? I don't know what that means.
Like Cindy and the Brady Bunch.
Oh, okay.
But it's his princess.
You married
his
a
only
12-year-old.
daughter.
That's what I'm hearing.
We were at the beach, and
Where the sun.
he wanted to
Again.
under the sun.
Yeah.
He wanted to I don't know, just kind of do something fun, just the two of us. So he was like, come here. We got like life jackets, and then we got a kayak, and we're gonna go out in the ocean. And I'm not crazy about the ocean. Don't like things touching my feet. Don't like tide taking me. And I was like on a kayak, something that's I wasn't crazy about it, but I was like, you know what? We're just gonna kind of like chill a little bit.
Yeah.
But we kept paddling, and we passed like the buoy, and I was like, he likes me. But
Hang on.
the exact cliche when the father-in-law takes you out and could kill you, and like threaten you, and I wouldn't be able to do anything. I'm not going to swim back. I'm not going to fight waves.
Or he might
in a
just be
boat.
testing you, and if you can make it back to shore, then you're worthy.
Right. I don't know if I was worthy, but it's a small kayak. He could easily just like push me out.
The two of you were in it?
Yeah, the two of
One
us were in a
kayak.
very small kayak.
That's not what a kayak is. It's a two-person kayak. Is that a thing?
Canoe?
No, it was like a big kayak.
Wait, was it covered on top?
It was a big kayak.
It was a big kayak.
It was a big kayak. I mean, I know my kayak. I've been on a kayak. That was it. It was a
Extra
big kayak in the
deluxe
ocean,
kayak.
All right.
which was terrifying.
Tandem kayak.
Yes.
And even
It also had a outboard motor, but they it was still a kayak. Yes, two-person kayaks do exist. So yes, checks out.
Thank you, Bernie. Even my wife and her family were they were joking about it, but it was like 10%. Like, oh, what's gonna happen?
I had a girl,
And then I
whose
almost
dad
drowned him.
Cleaned a shotgun when I came to pick her up. You drowned him?
I almost drowned him.
What'd you do?
Well,
This is a Ben Stiller movie. This is,
What? Where?
this was later. He was on an alligator.
Wait, hang on.
He was on a floating toy alligator.
There we go.
Okay.
And it was like the whole family, and I was with Paul, and I was like, oh, maybe it'd be kind of fun if like we'd like, wrestle or like flip it and take the alligator, and it'll be fun.
What?
And I flipped it. And
With
I
your
don't
father-in-law?
know- Yeah, like, oh, my son-in-law flipped me. Oh, you there.
I punched him in the face.
But I don't know if he was like locked into it, and I flipped him, and he didn't disengage. He was still locked in with his legs and his arms, and was there for like 10 seconds, and I was like,
The alpha move.
oh my God.
Maybe he thought the alligator came to life and was attacked.
Yeah.
And that's the way you wrestle an alligator.
So maybe next time.
So the end of the story is he died by.
he's alive.
He didn't, or he saved his life by letting go.
He's no. I flipped it back.
Really?
Yeah.
He won.
He just rotated
Yeah.
back
He
up.
won.
And he was
Do you think it was a power move?
Fuck yeah, it was. He can let go of the alligator anytime he wants to.
Yeah. Well, I told you. I don't know. You heard last time. We were out drinking like with the family, and he ordered beer, and then I ordered wine,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "I'll also order wine." So it's like
Maybe
a
you guys
weird-
connected over that.
I don't know if it was a
Maybe
connection.
he's always
or
wanted
was
someone to
it-
drink wine with.
Oh, he probably has.
Did he start matching you for like glass for glass or anything? Or
No, he was probably happy because I remember the last time he offered me wine, I didn't take it because I was eating cookies and milk.
He probably thought you poisoned the beer.
There's the way that you're telling these stories. There's every single statement is a question. It's like you're the Twin Peaks of like telling a story.
like a Branson interactive
I'm like,
story.
I'm like, oh, I need to see the entire season to understand.
I
Like,
was
where's the lore?
celebrating because it was the night Paul and I got engaged, so I was having milk and cookies.
Okay.
I don't eat milk and cookies anymore because I very easily get fat again.
So it's just traditional now when you celebrate milk and cookies?
That's one of them.
What kind of cookies?
Like Chips Ahoy. I can't do Oreos anymore. Oreos is too intense. When I was
Too
a
hard,
kid,
yeah.
I would get a huge cereal bowl and like fill it full of Oreos, and then get some whole milk.
Yeah.
And just eat it. And it was amazing. But I like if I eat just one thing, my stomach immediately expands.
I had a friend who would do that. It was a friend of Jeff and Gus's and mine. He would get cookies and cream ice cream, and he would dump it into a blender and then dump in a package of Oreos and blend that and then eat that. That was what
Made a
his
milkshake,
snack.
like a crazy
This
milkshake.
dude was like an athlete.
You
Yeah,
should
you
set
ever
up
had
a stand
Yeah.
outside Wendy's and like just try to undercut them. Because
Thank
it's the same thing, right?
So gross.
It's the old joke about if you have a dentist you have a crush on, then you eat a whole bag of Oreos before you go in, so they have to
That's
spend a much
weird. That's
longer,
disgusting.
yeah.
I'm so paranoid before I go to the dentist.
Oh yeah.
It's the only time I floss in my life.
I was gonna say every dentist has to know that, right? That people are doing last minute flossing. Like I'm gonna floss 2 hours before my appointment, and that's gonna make up for 6 months of no flossing.
Well, I'm honest about it. They ask me, "Are you flossing?" I'm like, "No."
But you do it anyway, right?
Before.
Right before?
Right before.
But you
yeah.
still do it.
'Cause
You
I
still
don't
go
want
through
them
the
to like
ritual.
go in and look at it. It's like when if I go to the urologist, I don't want to
Go
just.
ahead.
You floss.
Let's go.
I just make sure I just want to shower right before. I just want to make sure that everything is okay because they see a lot every day.
They do.
And
I'm concerned why you're going to a urologist. Is that like a normal, like in your rotation? Because guys don't have like a gynecological appointment.
I
We're
gotta
not-
go to the urologist. Sometimes stuff comes up. You gotta go to the urologist.
Comes up.
Or does it come out?
Comes out.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like I don't want to be the guy where he's like, oh, jeez.
Listen, I think doctors, they've seen pretty much everything.
Yeah.
By the time you show up.
Yeah, but maybe they appreciate it.
It's that little extra touch. They'll
Yeah. It's like, this is
Gives you-
nice.
Or they're like,
because you care.
Or they're like, the dude came in and he just reeked of Axe body spray. It was clear. He sprayed it for a full 30 seconds down there. Didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I was say though, he had a very refreshing prostate. It was like spring sprayed with Banaka or something.
Banaka on your prostate.
My Banaka
Nope.
prostate joke of the day.
So I'm gonna blow your mind on the flossing thing.
Saving that one.
This is a product I didn't know existed. I've heard of water picks. You know those things?
Yeah.
That's like the 70s. And that water picks, which I guess were supposed to replace flossing. But now they have these things called air flossers. Do you guys have a Sonic Care toothbrush?
Yes.
It's like one of the best inventions of all time.
Sure.
I don't know if you guys have one, Sonic Care? Max? Come on, go get one.
Yeah, because like
They're
teeth
amazing
care,
now.
dental care, like revolutionized health, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So they also, I believe it's the same company that makes it. They make an air flosser. So it's got a little reservoir and you fill it like mouthwash or water or something like that. And then you just go to each tooth and you push the button. It goes, there it is right there. And it goes pfft, like hard spray like that instead of flossing. So I floss every day because I use this air flosser. And my dentist is so happy with me.
Are you aware that you can get a toothbrush with Bluetooth that syncs to your phone and an app?
Why
Why would I want that?
You wouldn't be interested?
Bluetooth brush.
It tracks like how you're brushing your teeth because it's possible
God.
it's possible you don't realize you're not getting it like the back.
Are you gonna be
And-
competing with your friends? You're gonna be racing?
Yeah.
No, I don't have it, but I know like you really like
Gamified.
devices.
Put it
You-
on your Fitbit.
You have like a lot of devices, so I just wasn't sure if it was
Does it
something.
automatically update Twitter? so you could like share it to Facebook.
Burnie did 74% effectiveness today.
Yeah. Do you know my Sonicare has a timer on it, and it'll buzz like for different
Every
quadrants.
Sonicare has a timer. You're not special.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm explaining because Max doesn't have one, Brandon.
This is how you make me feel, Burnie, every day.
So I have to admit, I don't brush my teeth for whatever that amount of time. I think it's 2 minutes. I'm not a 2-minute brusher. I brush a lot. I brush 3 times a day. I'm not sitting there for 2 fucking minutes. Like
How long? What's going on in your life?
brushing
you can't
away.
Spend 2 minutes.
I'm fucking busy, dude. I can make a tour of my mouth pretty fucking quick.
Well, how long do you brush for?
I don't know. Minute. I'm more efficient. I get half of it in there.
All
I'm
right.
like, ch-ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. I'm like brushing and doing the Sonicare bit.
But you brush your tongue too, right?
Yeah, I do. But
How do you do all that? And
I only brush my tongue in the morning though. I don't brush my tongue
All right, fair enough.
every time.
I don't do any of that. I just spray a little bit of Windex in, swish it around. And
See, Burnie, it sounds like
everything.
it sounds like you're really unsure about all this stuff. If you had a toothbrush that had Bluetooth on it,
Then I would know.
then you know.
Connect it. So
This episode's sponsored.
By the way, like, so there's a subreddit about. I've got this weird image in my head of there's the subreddit for was it like power washer porn, something like that. It's just all the cool videos of people power washing, and like there's gonna be.
wait, did you say power washing porn?
Yeah, yeah.
It's what I think they call it, but it's
'Cause it's just
guys.
been power
Like,
washing,
no
not, like-
kidding. There's a subreddit devoted to people cleaning their damn grout.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
actual pornography.
No.
No, but it's lovingly rendered videos of people using the power washers as you do.
exactly.
But I'm waiting for the floss version or the air floss version. So what?
I was saying it was Ashley around because when we first moved in the house where we are now, it had like moss, like on some of the stone and, like just probably mold, who the fuck knows, but like general dirt and moss on it. And I said, I'm gonna get a power washer and clean this off. She goes, power washer? She goes, where do you get that? I go, just, rent it at Home Depot, can bring it in. And she was like, okay, whatever. So I did it and I was fired up and I did that thing where I cleaned off like half a rock wall. And I brought her out and I said, check this out. See, you can see it's like hard dirt lined, perfectly clean wall. She saw that and she goes, how does that work? And I just went and did the next one and like took the next row of bricks off and cleaned those. And Ashley goes, let me try. She power washed for 2 days straight.
You Huck Fender.
It was
yeah.
fucking amazing.
It was just like whitewashing the fence. Oh no, this is really fun. You can here you go.
Yeah.
Why?
She seriously like
she
was
got
out
addicted
there.
to it?
She got addicted
Yeah,
to power
it's so
washing.
much fun.
It is, yeah. She just got addicted to that thing of like super cleaning everything.
Just like the Robert Plant song.
No,
of course, I didn't tell her. I didn't give her full tutorial, so she like did it on the windows and like the seals, which just sprayed water in the house and everything. But that was still worth it. I could just clean that up. and
that
not
sounds
tell her.
amazing. I live on I have a balcony in an apartment, so I have to clean my balcony like with a brush, like a, peasant.
It's like, I think
Did
it's like
you Mr.
30 bucks
Miyagi
at Home
it?
Depot. It's totally worth it. I did it to the trailer. Like there's a trailer out on the ranch that was like super old, and I was just like nonstop for probably about 8 hours, and I was just like, this is the best day I've ever had.
Like, you live on a ranch?
Yeah, so this is I got it. We got to talk about this because this is something I found out about Max. That Max is a rancher. Max, why don't you explain to everyone what you
Wait
do
a
at the
minute.
company?
Is this just like for the tax exemption? Like so long as you have like one chicken and one goat, and you can take another deduction?
No. We got 60 of them cows
Whoa.
out on
60 head o' cattle?
out in Bastrop.
You
have any
just really
roosters?
get into the movie City Slickers? What
No.
is this?
So my husband has been working with this woman for a long time, and she is a grass-fed cattle rancher, and he started working with her, and then gradually that's like his full-time job, and so just been getting more and more into it.
Wow.
But yeah, it's crazy. It's like a
Do you guys do any of the processing on the ranch?
no.
Or,
Yeah. Do you have any roosters?
We
They're
don't have
mean.
any roosters.
I was attacked by a rooster.
We want to have chickens at some point, but I think for right now,
We ate it that night.
yeah, yeah. But no, the cows, they're pretty chill.
Okay.
They hang out.
You posted a Twitter video.
Yes.
Right. So you want to tell us one of your Max cow stories? Do we have the setup for Max's cow story here?
Yeehaw! Shit, I missed it.
So Max, tell us what the hell this is, because I saw this video. I think on Twitter. Did I see it?
Yeah. So I brought some people out to go check out the ranch, and then we we were hanging out with the cows. They're very sweet.
This music is my favorite.
I
thing
love
ever,
it.
by the
It's
way.
so good.
I want the lights to come down. I want to start rocking.
Oh wait,
It's like,
actually, on the other
need a
side of
fire.
that chair, on the other side of that chair, if you can grab them, they should be there. We have cowboy hats.
hell yes.
We have cowboy hats?
Yeah.
See, this is when you were talking about being on the river. I almost talked about this. That's a gun?
Got a gun.
Give me a cowboy hat. You know what? Did you see the thing where about Gavin a cowboy hat? See, give me the biggest one.
They're all the same
three.
size, and none of them will fit me. So you gotta.
You got a big head?
Yes,
I got
do.
a huge head. Yeah. Oh, these are good quality.
Amazon's finest.
Oh, this is a size 7. It's gonna sit on my
Yeah.
head. Look at this. I look like a Lego character.
What's this made of?
Yeah, there's no way.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
What in tarnation?
What in tarnation?
All right, I'm going back to the baseball cap. Size 7.
So I brought some people out to hang out with the cows. It was cool.
What does that consist of?
Well, like we just hang out on the front porch and drink, and then go hang out, and go over to the cows. And
That sounds badass,
chill with
dude.
them.
And shoot the teenagers trying to tip them at night.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you have
Urban
cow
legend.
tippers?
No, I've never heard of that being a thing. Somebody has claimed that they've done, like somebody that I ran into recently claimed that they had done that, but I don't see how you can do that.
I had I had people that I knew in Louisiana that they'd go cow tipping.
I guess like if they're in like a small place, but it's like to get up to the cows to like sneak up that far, it's like they're gonna run away. Or
The myth as a kid is that, well, no, they sleep standing.
they
up,
absolutely do not.
And
Right.
Yeah. And all you need to do is just walk right up to them and just push and run.
Because they're sleeping, yeah.
Yeah, no, they all sleep on the ground, but
The problem with urban legends is that then people come out to do it.
Yeah.
They don't know it's an urban legend. That barrel pointed at me freaked me out a little bit.
boy, good.
At
But I
some point,
understand.
do you sell the cow to get
Yeah, they have their own their own brand in like it's at like Wheatsville and stuff.
That's
do
so
you,
cool.
there a-
dairy? Do you milk them?
No.
So you don't.
Yeah.
Adventures with milking machines.
No, it's just like it's 100%. It's like 100% grass fed. So like none of the like kind of just like they get to be like normal cows, and then they just
as opposed
Sorry.
to.
They broke the gun.
as opposed to every other like a lot of other cows.
So you have to treat the cow very differently if they're going to be a milking cow.
Well, I guess so, but like I mean, it also comes down to like what their diet is and how you work with them. Like most of the way that it's done in America is like through a feedlot. You get as many cows as you possibly can, and then you feed them corn and grain.
Do you massage them, or like the
No,
Japanese
no.
do for their the Kobe and all that?
No, they're just chill. They're happy. They're super cute.
Is it like
Running
McDonald's? Do you eat one in the car on the way home? Like, just like I always
turned
take
out
one
great.
thing in the car with me that I have.
Yeah,
to
no, they're all pretty good. Our bulls are like the most tame, which is funny because like most other ranches, the like rodeo stock bulls are like
the trouble.
crazy.
Yeah.
And these ones are just like, whatever. We just have one really strange looking lady named Red, and she just is always staring down the herd.
This is right here.
Yeah, yep, there she is. She wasn't looking at us there, but her eyes are kind of on the side of her head, and she's always just kind of like, there's something going on here.
This is gonna seem like
They're not
such
just
a
hanging
weird
out.
existence to so many people, but normal to us. It's not normal to us. This is like I only know one other person who's lived like this in their life. You're out there with cows all day. It's fucking amazing.
I lived on a farm.
They're chill. That's Bluebell's.
What farm
That's
did you
Bluebell's
live on?
daughter.
My grandma had a farm. They had a lot of chickens. I'd go get eggs. That's how I got attacked by a rooster. I was
Yeah.
kind of chasing it and did not like that. So it turned around and started chasing me, and I was running away from it, and it just kept up with me. It was faster than me and was just like poking my leg. And at the end of it, I was just bleeding. And then my grandma went out because she's been on a farm forever, and she just does what grandmas do.
So is it kind of a catharsis?
And we ate that rooster that night.
So but working for Rooster Teeth now, it's like every day you're coming into work, I've conquered you.
Was that where the name came from?
Yeah, actual rooster.
Yeah. It's very farmy. No, yeah. I think
So do you get like
Deer
do you do
diary,
milk the cows?
no. Like I think it's mostly just
They're
like
ranch animals.
Yeah. They just you got to feed them in the morning, like give them hay if it's cold. But generally they kind of just they go from the back pasture to the middle pasture to the front pasture, then back. They do a little cycle every day,
Yep.
and they just kind of do their thing.
I had a friend who grew up on a goat farm, and it just sounded like
such a hard existence.
Well,
Did he drink
goats
the
are
milk?
crazy because they'll climb. Like goats will go everywhere.
Yep.
Cows, it's pretty easy to spot where they're gonna go. And
Right. Yeah. I think
best-
if you could lose like 1 or 2 goats, then you just kind of don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing about the ranch is so Patty, the owner of the ranch, her call to all the cattle every morning is girls. I'm shit you not. And it's the loudest because it's like people call like you've seen like people doing like pig calling competitions.
Yeah.
Where it's like really forceful. It's like because you have to yell out across the ranch to call all the cattle over. And her call to all of them is just at the loudest girls. All of them.
Oh, yeah, I do a call for Joe the cat that I didn't know was a thing until he went missing. Remember when we moved
Yeah.
and he went missing for a month? And so I'd go out and walk and I just call to him. And we hired a cat tracker, real person, actual job. Yeah,
Love it.
She was a cat tracker, and I was walking around with her, and she was like, "Can you teach me how to do that call?" And I was like, "Is that a thing? I didn't know that people can do it." I would just walk around and go like that, and she couldn't do it. But that's what I always do when I feed Joe, the cat. So he learns that noise means food, and he'll come. Every time I make that noise, he'll just come.
Wait, is that her side job or her full-time job?
Yeah, I think it's her full-time job. Yeah.
So weird.
Why does she not call herself
like all the-
Catcher?
Catcher.
I was proud of myself for that. Nobody else was.
I know. I was proud.
Everybody else hated it.
You're sitting in Barbara's seat too. That's the best part. That's the best part of it.
But before we leave the ranch thing, so you mentioned that there's a ranch owner.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, how did you find this place? Where you just go through the classifieds and you went, it's a metropolitan apartment downtown, the nightlife, whatever.
Perhaps
Live on the farm with the cows. Let's call them.
No, so what happened was my husband used to be like in politics, he was running a campaign for this woman on the ranch. He was running her campaign to be state representative for Bastrop.
No kidding.
They got real close, didn't work out, and he was just kind of like, politics isn't really my jam as much as it used to be. So he grew up in a small town, and he lived next to a ranch, and so he just started working with her, and then over time, she doesn't have any living relatives, so it was kind of like...
So they went from working with the sheep to the cattle.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so she's just basically been like, well, I need somebody to take care of this ranch. Guess it's y'all.
Okay.
And I'm like, but yeah. So it's interesting. I never anticipated that, but it is I don't know. It's compared to where I've been, because we're in the process of moving. We've been kind of back and forth between the two places, but it's my house in Austin. It's my neighbors' kids are always running around, breaking glass, throwing crap in our front yard.
Breaking
They're
glass. What the hell?
They're nightmares. They literally called the cops the other day.
Kids did?
The kids called the cops to report a robbery in progress at my house at 9 in the morning, and I wake up and there's 3 cops there.
The fuck?
And they're like, are you hey, we got a report of a robbery in progress. And I was like, nope. And he was like, well, do you have your phone? I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, it was definitely from here. And I was like, think I could tell you who did it, because my kid, the neighbor kids are just awful, and it's not even they're fucking with me. They're bored as hell, and so
Watch it. They're gonna come after your towel.
It's kind of fucking with
Yeah.
you, a little bit.
well, yeah, but I mean, their thing is nobody's really watching them, and so they have one of their fun games is break the fence on either side of their house, and they literally
I love that
just
game
try
when I
to
was a
kick
kid.
it.
Break the fence. Such a great game.
So I'm if I can move out to somewhere where I never have to have a neighbor again, I'll be okay.
Are
with
you
it.
going to have kids? Are you going to have any kids?
We haven't really decided
Oh,
that.
sorry. Am I I don't want to
No,
I don't want to
no,
fast
I mean,
forward your relationship.
No,
here.
it's it's kind of been when you're gay, you can kind of just Uber one whenever you're ready. Right? Just be
I think that's part of their new service. The new app
Got
that
it.
showed up after Uber Eats. It was,
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
By the
yeah,
way,
be
yeah.
annoying
Ubering a
right?
kid would be the least popular app ever, ever, ever. Yeah, I can't imagine everyone going,
once every 4.
man, I wish there was a bunch of kids around, right?
How old would you want to adopt a kid?
I don't even. This isn't really even something that I've necessarily thought about. I'm pretty much leaning towards no right now, but
If you had to adopt, I mean, if you're maybe
Had to.
17, because you're you get the experience
one
of
kid for
having
1
a
year and then
kid
you're bye.
and looking up to, and then they
a couple of years, and they're about to leave anyway.
There you go.
It's fine.
It's like a.
What about you?
turtle.
You having any kids?
I think I have to.
What does that mean? What does that
That
mean?
is true.
It's
Why
'cause
do you have to?
my father-in-law is expecting them, like when at Christmas.
To train them in the way of alligator wrestling.
That's it. Fake a whole pregnancy, then bring him an alligator swaddled up. And then hand it to him.
At Christmas, he kind of mentioned kids, grandkids, and he was like looking at me, and he was like, "Come on, get on that." I was like, "What are you saying right now?"
Get
like
on that.
advocating, yeah, because she has like 2 brothers, but they're both younger than her, so
Obligations on her. Right?
So this will be the first grandkid. He's waiting.
yeah, he wants it
okay.
now.
Yeah.
Really?
He wants it now, and it's kind of one of those things where he with the wedding he helped out a bunch, and I don't know if it was like an unofficial understanding that we would provide him with a child or a
Deflect.
grandkid.
Not
Well,
you
it
need
was
to
a very
become
nice wedding.
matchmaker.
I wasn't able to attend, but I saw.
Why didn't you go?
There was something that week that I had to do, some travel thing that I had to do, and I couldn't go. I would have absolutely gone.
So,
I know.
Jack-
I'll tell you exactly what it was. No, I didn't have something to do. My kid's mom had something to do, and I couldn't get her to sign off on me taking the kids down to Mexico.
Out of the country.
Did I ever tell you the story about my dad living in Mexico? Because my dad, before he died, would split time between North Carolina and Lake Chapala in Mexico. He had a place down there. Or the woman that he married after my mom died, she had a place down there, and they would go down there. Anyway, he was always trying to get us to come visit. And my ex, the kid's mom, Jordan, she's pretty conservative, and hear all these news stories about everything that's going on in Mexico and everything. Mm-hmm. She's like, the kids were like 2 and 5, and she's like, we're not going to bring him down there. My dad's like, so you're coming down? You're going to come down, see us down here? And I said, no, we'll come see you when you're in North Carolina. We'll see you there. And he's like, oh, come on down. You'll love it. It's beautiful down here. And I said, well, Dad, we can't come down to Mexico. I said, Jordan just doesn't want the kids to travel with the kids in Mexico. He's like, why not? I said, because she's worried about kidnapping. And we're in the car, so it's like on speaker. Oh. And we're in the car, and it's on speaker, and he goes, and his response to that way, he goes, that's ridiculous. He goes, I've lived here for 5 years, and I only know one person that's been kidnapped. And I go, you just fucked it up. I go, there's no way I'm going to convince her now. There's no way. She's over there because she had done it. She's like, don't fucking shit. I was like, yeah, that's over.
Were you trying to cover for it? Oh, haha, Dad, good joke.
No, I immediately called him out. I was like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
One person who's such a dad answer.
Well, we weren't getting married in Tijuana. It was Monterrey. It's like a big industrial town.
Yeah, you know what? It's like, it's one of those things. It's like, she just was, I know where her boundaries are, and it's just like, I couldn't do it.
No,
I would have loved
totally
to have gone. And listen, me personally, I'd love the experience of being able to take the kids to Mexico. I'd love that, And I just knew that it was just like, that was probably not a battle you want to fight. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like,
pick your battles.
Yeah.
Yeah, today, I'm so conflicted because Jack last year it was very awesome of him. He moved what's the fundraiser we do?
Extra Life?
Extra Life, yeah. He moved it because of my wedding.
Right.
And it was really, really nice of him. Like,
That's
I really
really
did appreciate it. And like today he sent an email about it to the company and kind of like
Save the date.
kind of like making fun of the fact that he had to move it.
I saw that.
And I was like, well, I've always been somebody that complained about when people just do reply all emails making jokes because people get enough emails. But I feel like if I don't say something, it makes it look like I'm
Brandon, I totally didn't remember that he moved to Extra Life for your wedding. Did you guys see the email?
Yeah.
I
And
thought too. What did you think that meant?
I know. I had trouble deciphering it and then had to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, why did Brandon make Jack send an email about save the date? I thought you were actually organized and telling Jack, hey, let people know when it is so they can put it in their calendars. I thought you were like ahead of the curve. He didn't explain the joke.
Yeah.
So most of us don't remember that was the case, that he moved it for your wedding. When I read that email today, I just thought he was saying, Brandon asked me to send this email to everybody.
Really?
Yeah. Because you got the context. I don't remember the context. So anybody else? Did you read the email? Anybody?
Yeah, I got it.
Did you understand the moving of the dates and all that?
I got it.
You remembered that he moved the dates last year?
Yeah.
All right.
So do I reply?
Yeah, so now tell him to fuck off because Patrick remembers it. So tell him.
Do I reply? It's whatever. No one cares. Gray stopped caring after like.
Hold your own competing charity event. That'll show him. That'll show 'em.
Deluxe Extra Life.
Don't donate to those kids. Donate to these kids instead.
I do want to say it was very nice of him to move it last year. I had no idea that Extra Life was that weekend when we scheduled it.
Yeah.
because we were looking, we're like, what does Rooster Teeth have a convention that weekend? No. So I thought we were covered.
Valid question these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an RTX somewhere in the world? Is there an RTX moon?
Is that the goal? One for every weekend?
Can we have
now?
one on the moon?
No.
No.
Not unless Elon Musk says so. Did
Well,
you
he
hear
got permission.
Did you hear the
Yeah.
Elon Musk tweet today?
The Boring Company?
Yeah, the Boring Company, where he's drilling tunnels.
Yeah.
Where's the Hyperloop that he wants to build? In
New York City, I
Philly
think.
and New York? Dude, I am convinced, and I hate to say this because if it happens,
It was New York to DC.
I'm worried that people will play this back. I'm really worried that they've dug so much under Manhattan that something's gonna fall, a building will just
Sinkholes
disappear
and-
into the earth at one point.
Sure,
I
they.
feel like there's a lot of people who are paid a lot of money to worry about that, right?
Yeah, right. But they're
Surely.
probably
I mean,
it's fine.
They
They're
dug
not going to
those.
tell Elon Musk it's fine, because then if his Hyperloop crashes, he's like, you do not get to join me on the new bastion of
The guy's
humanity."
like,
The levees
this
in
is
New
a-
Orleans, those were fine.
Those tunnels are like 100 and
Flip that dude to 20. You're in
Yeah.
good.
they're like 100 years old, right? Or 110 years. I mean, I think they're okay.
We think. You don't know. You think.
But then he has this machine, I guess, that came out of nowhere. I guess that's what I would be worried about. Be like, why don't we just use the machines we've been using for 1,000 years? Not 1,000. That was the wrong number.
billion.
That was the wrong number. I used the wrong number.
Let's not use those. Yeah. It reminds me of the Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12 digging machine. It's like
Oh, right.
That's what I think it is. But he said that
It's a great
he
name of
got
the company.
verbal government approval, right?
Verbal.
Right. That was what I got stuck on too. It's like, what is verbal government approval? What does that mean?
Like Trump tweeted back at him.
I called the government and they said, yeah, okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It
That's a
sounds
good-
to me a
that's a
little
good
bit like
thing
the
to
stuff
do.
Enron used to do. Like,
I have verbal government approval to
I have verbal government approval.
park wherever I want.
I'm gonna build a structure in the middle of the street over there. Verbal government approval. I did. I had it.
Do you know what I found out? I found out that a lot of art, Matt, you're in the, or Max, you're in the
Matt.
art department here at Rooster Teeth. I found out that a lot of art that is kind of iconic in American culture, a lot of it was placed there unofficially.
Yes.
Do you know the Wall Street the Wall Street Bowl, where they put the little girl in front of it,
Yeah.
and she's standing defiantly in front of the bowl?
Yeah.
That was placed there without any permission whatsoever. And the artist of the bull
It's now mad.
is now mad
off.
because he said that it changes the intention of his piece.
He got remixed.
he got remixed.
Yeah.
He said his piece was to show the resiliency of the American people after a financial crisis, and instead now it's changed to this kind of negative thing that the little girl does. I read more about it. The bull was unofficial. The guy installed the bull without city permission.
Oh, so he's like, oh, you took my idea of rebelling by. Oh, okay.
And did you
screw
see
that.
But I would have
But wait,
assumed
so-
that somebody commissioned that.
so the girl was first, and the
Nope.
point was just.
the girl was not first.
But you said that the
bull was first.
No.
the bull was first, but it was unofficial. He didn't have permission.
Yeah, long
Yeah,
time
the
ago.
girl is the new development. That's
Okay.
earlier this year,
Well,
and it
and
was a
then-
big deal that it was an unofficial art installation.
Yeah.
But then I also found out that the bull, which we've all seen a billion times, which seems like this official thing of Wall Street.
And now it's almost this Tiananmen Square act of
Yeah.
defiance looking
Yeah,
imagery.
well-
what I love about it is that since then, they've since modified the girl. And somebody came along and put Wonder Woman's tiara.
Yeah,
on her.
that's
Imagine
cool.
it. Yeah.
And somebody also put a dog pissing on the girl recently, like on her foot.
Get out of here.
It's a real thing. It was like some guy who
when does it stop?
Some guy who was pissed off about the I don't know, the message about that. He put a little dog pissing. I'm not even joking. There's a picture out there.
But better a dog than
Exists.
Calvin, I guess.
I like the Wonder Woman thing, but the more I think about it, actually,
Yep,
it's like,
there it is.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
All right.
It's nonstop. Pretty soon it's just going to be an
So the Wonder
entire
Woman
group of
tiara is gone, it looks like.
Yeah, I guess it was just like.
It is kind of a
for-
funny like loop around though. It's like here's this big bull. They put the girl there to recontextualize it as this overwhelming consumerism, and this girl's standing up in defiance of that. And then they put a popular movie thing on her head. You know, it's just kind of like, oh, that kind of changes again, doesn't it?
It's just a never-ending message to the point we have to sit there for an hour
Just a
and
loop.
track it from message to message.
And meanwhile, what's happening? The sun is killing us all. That whole time. While we're busy with our art installations, the sun is slowly killing us.
yeah, now, all right. Well, now I got a mission. I'm going
All
to
right,
go find a statue.
You guys have any other thoughts before we wrap up?
I will say, because
parasols.
We do
the
have
cool Austin thing real
verbal
quick.
government approval to go longer than an hour if we want to.
Hey.
and parasols. I think we
parasols.
need to just
Just talk about like unofficial like art installations. There was a woman a few years ago in Austin who went around and would sew stuff and put it on signs. So like you were driving, I think like down one of the streets here, Lamar, and you would just see a sign and it would be covered in like multicolored, what would you call, like it's like you make a big mitten for it or something like that. Yeah, so it was really cool. And the city had to go and take it down, but it's just like one of those things that you're like, oh, cool, Austin. Like you don't really think of in terms of like graffiti artists.
Yeah, they put it over those damn blue pieces of artwork that I hate, that everybody hates, and they're awful because nobody thought that they were an art piece. Under the South Lamar, whenever you're going,
the dinosaur ribs.
No. On South Lamar, whenever you're about to hit the bridge,
I know exactly what you're talking about. They look like traffic signs.
Yeah, we paid like $57,000 for them in Austin, and then it was like, this looks like a traffic sign.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this? And then that woman went and put all of the knitting over it, and it was like, that's awesome, love that. And then they were like, nope, we got to take it down and bring it back to mediocre.
Yeah, and it's weird too because these signs are like vertical rectangles, but then some of them are installed like it seems intentionally improperly, like they're off kilter.
Yeah.
And it's just like it'll drive you crazy because you're often stuck in traffic there.
It worked. We're talking about it.
It worked.
Yeah.
That's not a barometer.
Does art work? It just did.
By that judgment, it's like most of Austin's public artwork is like great.
That's the art installation.
Yeah.
Those blue things with the white border that look like they should have, gas station ahead or something like that.
You think it was made by the same guy who did the dinosaur rib cage on the highway?
The dinosaur rib cage is, that one's, I didn't know that was art either.
I'm all right with it. I'm not as angry about it. But that thing in the middle that was just in that picture, the, drunk driving, don't drink and drive, you'll kill somebody's kid. Austin, that had been up there for like I think it's like now 20 years.
Yeah.
Like there was one year, I remember a little while back where Austin tried to paint over that because they were like, it's illegal.
Yep.
We need to have these blue artwork pieces.
Right.
No
Like, knitting.
No
messaging against drunk driving. Just weird traffic sign artwork. Yeah, it is a weird. It's obviously intentional. To me, it's supposed to look like traffic signs or whatever. Not mileage markers or something. You know what I mean?
They're intentionally trying to confuse you. Or,
Great, you trolled me.
You worked.
Great.
Or gauging the flood level. Oh, you're fucked.
Yeah. It does bug me though because for the food vlog that we did. For right before RTX, where we went to all those restaurants. One of the places we went to was to Joe's Coffee Shop on South Lamar, where they have that tourist spot that everybody stops to take a photo.
South Congress.
I love you so much.
South Congress.
Yeah,
I love you so much. What did I say?
South Lamar.
Oh, South Congress. Yeah. The I love you so much graffiti.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's cute. And yeah, I get it. It's like kind of basic that people go out there and take photos with and everything. We took a photo for it just to like being really funny and basic. And, but people go in there and paint over that. It's like, what kind of an asshole do you have to be to like paint over I love you so much? I mean, it's just like, you gotta be a jackass.
Yeah, they do that to like all the murals.
Or people tag stuff. Tagging is like the lowest form of art. I don't know what it's gonna take for me to develop an appreciation for tagging.
What would you classify the Pac-Men that are on like the train?
That's awesome.
track?
Yeah, that's graffiti.
But that's cool.
No, that's not tagging.
Tagging is just putting your name on it.
The name and a name you can't read.
Right.
Oh no.
See, that picture's in a weird way incriminating because it looks like that dude did it.
No, I think there's a different place where they did I hate you so much and then I love tacos so much. Yeah.
Oh, so that's the modified version.
They're like, they're doing it. I mean, it's as you can tell, hard to replicate.
Actually not the most historically famous piece of graffiti in Austin.
Is it the
the
frog
Daniel Johnston
that's made by the Nirvana dude?
Go ahead.
It's like a friend of Nirvana or an artist that made art for Nirvana.
He's immune to the sun.
It's the frog, right? And the frog, what does he say?
Oh, the hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Yeah.
Not a frog, first of all.
It's an
alien, right?
Alien.
Yeah. Alien frog.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Your father-in-law wrestled it.
There's the
That's all that
whole
matters.
there's the I don't know if it's like a former house or apartment complex off of South Lamar where they've got all these it's these shells of these concrete buildings and all the walls are so what?
It was foundations for a building that never got built. Yeah.
Yeah, and every corner of every surface there is now graffiti art. It's a graffiti gallery now.
Yeah.
And they've left it alone. You can go and tour it.
But they are about to get rid of it too.
What?
Yeah, we needed that to be a 5-story mixed-use complex. We've all talked about it. It's a great idea.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're about here. That's what we like in Austin.
Progress.
We're putting it in.
Yeah.
Let's get some tacos.
I went to taco with you. We had snow cones outside today. Achievement Hunter already put out a video on Twitter, which was really funny. They had Jeremy try to eat one of the entire bowl snow cones in a minute. And it it's funny because the snow cone matches his hair. So it's like, or it's, two-tone, and he's just chowing on this thing. And it's like, yeah, he's going to hit the wall fast. Sure enough, it's like, it looks like he's about to die.
My brain is hurting
I
just
know.
hearing about that.
It was in that worst kind of brain freeze where his head hurts, but then his throat starts to close down. His digestive system just clamps up because he's eating too much cold stuff.
The only snow cone place to me is they're lazy. They're shaved ice. They can't put the cone on the top. They can't round it off. It's just handed to you. It's just a big
bowl.
mess.
Come on,
Damaris walked into a meeting a little bit ago, and at first I thought he had just a thing.
They're
that,
also mean to me.
Why? What did they say to
Wait,
you?
what?
What did they say to you? Were they out of bubblegum flavor?
No, I'm a sugar-free coconut guy. And no, they're just like every time I go to them, they just have like a pretty bad attitude. Like they don't want to be there, and I'm always paranoid. They're not actually giving me the sugar-free. They're giving me like the sugar. That's my life.
It's actually really
It's not
dangerous. Like I've thought about that. Like there's people who order Diet Coke at a restaurant,
Right.
and I've ordered Diet Coke, and I'm like, this is clearly Coke. But for some people, that would be life-threatening, if they got a glass of sugar and they didn't want that. And I'm surprised I've never heard about that before.
Or like the waitress that put a hot dog in her butt.
What?
I'm gonna leave it there because we have to.
You're going to leave
end
the hot dog in her
podcast.
butt? Is that what you're going to do? Why, you want to talk about that on the post show?
We can talk about the post show. I do think that's a nice send-off point.
No, well, there's one
note.
more thing I want to talk about. I want to follow up on something that happened last week, and I was trying to find a point at which we could talk about this today. We actually referenced earlier. We said, "Hey, can we talk about this?" But last week, and I'm about to talk about something that happened on last week's Thursday podcast, and I just want to say before I start discussing this, that I know everyone that I work with, and Rooster Teeth as a company does not condone touching someone without their consent. And we had a discussion last week, funny discussion about friends goofing around together, and the story was told, and it was told in a way that the person who told it Bethany felt like it was interpreted differently than she intended, but that's on us. We're the professional broadcasters here. We get paid to do this. It's our job to communicate these stories in the correct way so that people understand them. And I just wanted to read really quickly Bethany's response that she made on the Rooster Teeth site, which was then subsequently put on the Rooster Teeth subreddit as well. And yeah, it was addressed in forums, but I feel like when we make these missteps, I think it's very important for us to address them also in the same forum and format that we made them. So we can't make a mistake on the podcast on our airwaves and then turn around and try to address it on a forum or in the comments section. I feel like we have the obligation to give it the same amount of airtime, essentially. But Bethany wrote, I apologize as to how this conversation came off. We do not condone sexual harassment and take it very seriously. Patrick is a good friend, and we were all being silly together. He would never intentionally make someone feel uncomfortable. Some of our RT friendships are super close ones, and we are all very comfortable together. However, I understand the way we referred to this and discussed it. It came off as inappropriate, and I personally apologize for that. Listen, we all want to apologize. I want to apologize for that. That conversation was really upsetting to people, especially when she made the justification that Patrick should be able to do that, or it's okay that he does it because he's gay. I believe that she was making, and I thought here sitting in the chair that she was making that particular statement to demonstrate to people who were questioning it. She was making that statement to show that it wasn't sexual. That's just not the right way to do that. And we recognize that. Want to apologize for that. So sorry that happened. We do tell a lot of stories in the podcast. Like Bethany said in her statement, we do have super close relationships. And some of the stuff we do borders on inappropriate, but still at the same time, it's consenting adults acting in inappropriate ways. And sorry if we sent a message that made it seem like we condone touching anyone without their consent, because we absolutely do not. So sorry to end on that note, but more sorry that we said that. So thanks for joining us on this very special Thursday edition of the podcast. Brandon, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
Even though we fight every time.
Just want to say, everybody, stay out of the sun.
Just stay away from the sun and statistics.
If you didn't get anything out of this podcast, you at least got that.
Gray, thank you for joining us. We didn't even talk about Genlock.
That was great. No, it's fine. No, I've enjoyed hanging out. This is fantastic just to kick back and catch up. And I feel like I should apologize to Miles and Carrie for everything I've done over the years.
Max, thank you for sharing your cow stories with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have a post show that we're going to do for first members only after this. And then, of course, you can join us for the regular podcast on Monday. Don't forget, this episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast was sponsored by Day 5. Day 5 Season 2 starts on August 6th. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.